Most chess puzzles come down to pattern recognition. These are 28 puzzle rush positions I solved, most in just a few seconds. Let me show you what I was thinking and looking for in each one. I see the king is there, I see the 3 pawns like that, which means that if I can get a rook on this rank, it will be checkmate. Um, Honestly, I think because we don't have much time, I don't know if I had seen this knight, the fact that this knight could go back. Probably did as I was moving my rook, but then I would have, yeah, a lot of it's just, uh, yeah, just pattern recognition. So I saw my bishop was controlling that square, so here we can just play rook takes rook, rook takes rook, and then we take the queen, and then after knight goes back, it's checkmate. So again, similar to the last puzzle, the king is on the back rank, and so we just play queen takes rook, and that is checkmate. Again, same thing. King is on the back rank. We just play rook check, take the rook, and checkmate. Yeah, the same thing as before. We're seeing quite a big pattern right now. So in this formation, yeah, we just take the rook, and it's the what we call the back rank checkmate. Again, we have another back rank checkmate. So this time, it's not 3 pawns. It's we've got pieces. The only difference is really this rook. So after we go rook check, my brain tells me the rook can go back, but then I realize there's a bishop here pinning the rook. And so rook here would be checkmate. Yeah, so again, very similar to the last puzzle, I want to play rook check, and again my brain is telling me rook back, but can't do that because of this pin. So the answer is rook check, and that is checkmate. I think when I first see this, my brain is scanning for the back rank checkmate with queen check, and then I realize there's a rook there, so they can't do that. And then I kind of think about whether my queen can take the rook. I wish it could, but you can't. It's on the white queen is on a dark square, rook is on a light square, so we can't do that. And then I think the next thing I realized is, okay, well, if we can't go down this path, what about this path? And I see this threat. So queen takes pawn, and that is checkmate. Yeah, so I think instinctively I want to play queen check um, because it's attacking the king. And then, just like the last puzzle, instinctively I think the king can come out, but then I realize there's a bishop there. And so when I see that, then I just play queen check, and that's checkmate. This one I think I saw basically immediately. Yeah, this reminds me of the 4-move checkmate. Uh, yeah, so queen takes pawn, attacking the king, and because the queen is also guarded by the knight, so that would be checkmate. I think with this one, my first thought was queen check, hoping that would be checkmate, but it doesn't work because yeah, they can just take our queen. So what we want to do is we want to, sorry, so if we go check, rook takes queen, rook takes rook, king takes. So the king is a good defender there. So what we want to do is we want to push this king away. If we can push it to one square like that, then we can go for checkmate. So how do we do that? We can go queen check, and then now we go for checkmate. This one I immediately saw that my queen could go there, but it probably took me a little while to realize that it was checkmate. Um, yeah, it's not position. We don't really see that too much in chess. We do see it in Bughouse a bit. Um, but yeah, I think in my brain, I kind of feel like, oh, the king could probably just go back somewhere, and that's why it took me a little while. But in fact, this bishop does a really good job guarding um, these squares, stopping the king from retreating, going to those squares, and the square is guarded by the pawn, and we just need something to attack the king. Sorry, we need something to attack the king on this diagonal, so that's checkmate. So here we can just play queen check. The knight guards this square, and so that's essentially checkmate, or very close to it. So they have to sacrifice a rook, and that would be checkmate. It's a free knight, so we just take it. And it happens to be checkmate as well. Yeah, so this one, I think in my brain, I see this move first, because it's, yeah, a check and the king escapes. So then I think about, okay, if the king is going to be escaping here, this rook is doing a really good job. So let's bring this one over, and that would be checkmate. Yeah, so this one, it took me a while to figure it out, and I think it was because all the previous ones we did, or quite a few of them, were checkmates. So I was trying to find checkmate here, and I couldn't find checkmate. This queen is so strong, and I mean, I've been playing a lot of Bughouse. I could ask for a knight in Bughouse, and that would be checkmate. But of course, it's normal chess. Actually, kind of got a bit lucky in this one. I didn't realize that I was going to pick up the queen until I think as I started moving my pieces. So this one, I just couldn't see anything better, and I think what I saw was knight takes bishop, and I saw that bishop takes pawn would be check, and I thought that was quite strong. Yeah, now I realize it's actually checkmate. So I think when I was doing the puzzle, I thought I was going to pick up the queen, but um, so what happens is bishop takes pawn. If they go rook f7, um, yeah, I can just go queen takes rook, king here, and queen back, and that would be checkmate. But yeah, we don't really need to look into that. I mean, winning a queen is good enough. Yeah, this one took me a little while. I got a bit confused by the direction of the pawns at first. Um, and then I realized suddenly that, hey, I've got a really strong passed a pawn. So what I want to do is I want to march the pawn down the board. So I play rook check first. They have to go back because if they take the pawn, then I win the rook. And the idea is I take the rook and then I march the pawn and hope for the best. Yeah, and I get there before white does. This one, again, back rank checkmate ideas. So queen check, and then bishop takes pawn. They can't take because the queen's pinned, and that would be checkmate. This one, I wasn't 100% what the answer was, but I felt that this was very strong because yeah, I'm threatening checkmate here, and I couldn't see how white would defend. But now that I'm looking at it, I wonder if they can just play rook f3. Um, yeah, I don't actually see what the win is. I might take a look. So here we just take the bishop, but let's take a quick look. So after, okay, let's give this a go. So after rook f3, oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. So after rook f3, um, so we look for checks and captures. That's what that's what coaches often suggest us to um, to look at first because they're the most active moves or direct moves. So check, the king goes here, and I think we've got knight check, which is really strong. If rook takes, pawn takes, this rook is attacking the king. And I think the other variation was so rook f3, queen check, king f1, king f1, knight check. If king here, then we've got queen takes, bishop checkmate. So let's take a look. Rook check. Is that the queen h2, king f1, knight e3. If rook takes, then this surely is winning. And if king f2, we've got checkmate here. Okay. This one, yeah, we just go queen here, and that's checkmate. This square is controlled by the knight, and that's checkmate. Yeah, this one, I think instinctively, this king feels quite weak because we've got this knight here, and this knight's guarded by the pawn. And then we just need something like a queen here that looks really strong. At the same time, this queen is really not doing much. It's like a bystander. So it did take me a moment to work out the combination because I think I didn't have time, but I saw after queen h4, this rook moved away. I think I spent a little bit of time working out what happens, but yeah, then I saw queen check, king here, and that would be checkmate. So I actually had a very similar checkmate idea in one of my bug house games very recently. This one here, okay, I almost forgot what I did here. Um, I think it took me a little while because there were so many pieces flying around. Um, but I figured that I couldn't see anything immediate here. But then I realized that I could try and simplify the position with queen takes rook, queen takes, rook takes, oh sorry, rook takes, king takes. So that's equal trade, and then I realized I could just pick up a free piece. So that's just what I saw, and then I thought, let's just go for it. Unfortunately, that was the answer. So here, yes, again, similar to the last position, I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see how I could win the free queen, that the knight's guarding it. I did see that this knight was a little bit loose. It was guarded by the queen only. That's the only defender. So then I just realized, okay, well, what if we got rid of that defender? Then we can just take this knight for free. And then I almost played bishop takes knight here, but then I realized, oh, rook takes rook. So I thought, let's just swap off rooks first. And after we swap off rooks, then we take the knight. And then we'll be a clear bishop up in the endgame. This one was interesting. I think my mind was drawn to this setup. So I wanted to play queen check, but then because normally that would be checkmate, but there's a knight here, so that doesn't work. But then I realized, oh, we've got a rook here, and that rook is looking at the king. So which means that if I do play queen check, after knight takes queen, if I take with this pawn, it gets the rook involved. Plus, having these pawns there, that looks very strong, and I just felt that would be checkmate. And after that, we've got checkmate here. We're down to the final couple. So with this one, I think my first thought was rook takes pawn, but then I realized we've got three defenders, and we've got just the two attackers, so that's not going to work. And then I suddenly saw this idea, attacking the big value piece with the queen, and yeah, that would be pinning the queen, attacking the rook at the end, and there was no way for black to defend this rook. So yeah, I saw rook there. Okay, this one, it's interesting. I don't think this really comes up too much in normal chess, although it can happen in the Caro-Kann. There is one line there. So the queen is attacking the king. Sorry, the queen's not attacking the king. The queen's looking at the king, and there is just one pawn between the king and the queen. So here there is just the simple move of knight takes d6. The pawn can't take the knight because of this attack, and that's checkmate. With this one, I think my mind was drawn to these three pieces. They're all very active, very unusual to have the king right in the middle of the board. And then I noticed this king as well. And then I think I realized that, so if the king was here, so let's say hypothetically there was no pawn on h5 and instead the king was there. If any rook or queen along this H file would be checkmate. So I thought, okay, and then I saw queen takes pawn, that would be checkmate. I actually didn't see this bishop flying through in under the time control, but we've got checkmate here. This one, I think I saw very quickly my bishop was guarding this square and my knight was guarding this square. And then I saw, okay, I can just bring my queen here, and that would be attacking the king, and that would be basically checkmate. Queen goes back and checkmate. The final four. So I see the queen attacking these squares. and I see that the king is actually stuck. There's no escape squares for it. So if I can just bring in another piece to the attack, knight f7, that would be checkmate. This one was similar to, I think, the puzzle from 2 puzzles ago. So I see that this rook is eyeing this king. Now, yes, there's like three pieces in between the rook and the king. But you'll find in chess that those pieces can move very quickly. So suddenly I see the idea of queen takes pawn, king takes, and then I can just move my bishop away, and that would be very close to checkmate. Of course, I wanted to play queen check as well, and sometimes that would be checkmate, but yeah, black just has a defender there, so we can't do that. And it's important that we move our bishop to a more active square here where it controls h6, because if I played bishop check, the knight could go to block. So instead we want to play bishop check, and if the knight goes here, we take it that way. And here we just take the knight. All right, the final two. So yeah, I found it a bit hard to solve this puzzle. So I think I was drawn to this square, so I saw the bishop and the knight attacking this pawn. So we've got 2 attackers, but we've got also 2 defenders here. So that's not going to work. And then I think I just looked at the other capture that I could do. Remember, we should be looking at checks and captures as the first moves. So I just saw knight takes knight. Honestly, I kind of just hoped that this would work. I didn't really calculate everything through here. I think I just saw the idea of after knight takes knight, if knight takes knight back, then I can win a free rook. And if they do something else, like rook takes rook, I could at the very least take the knight, and that's all I really saw here. And it's fortunate that was the answer. So okay, so I think that was really just, I believe that was just a fair trade, but we did wreck their pawn structure, so that's good. And I guess the other thing was we are actually up a knight here, which I didn't realize during the puzzle. But I think I just felt that weakening the pawns was a good thing for me. We're on to our last puzzle. This one, hopefully it's nice and straightforward. So this pawn is almost nearing for promotion. And if we can take the rook, it can become a queen, and that would be checkmate. Thanks for watching. Until next time, play with patience, finish with grace.